parking garage for his pets, and even big enough for a growing family. So naturally, he started building an entire town.
Just fly straight to the house. It's got LiDAR too. That means it shoots out.
And was located in what we now know as Ghana. He gets to the Asante Kingdom, sees, flushing report.
What's up, YouTube? Today, we'll be looking at disturbing TikToks that'll make you question reality. But right before we jump into it, I just want to give a huge shout out to everybody watching this, everyone who's ever watched the channel. Thank you so much for all your support. We have just hit the 5K subscriber mark, and we are just getting started. So without further ado, welcome to Adam Strain Reacts. Let's get her done.
Listen, I'm beating all the traffic with this one right here, y'all. This is the Jetson 1, a single seat, all electric aircraft that basically turns you into a human drone. 8 motors, carbon fiber frame, hits about 63 miles an hour and stays up around 20 minutes. And yeah, it's like 128,000. But think about it. People out here drop 60K on a car, then they spend thousands more on gas, maintenance, sitting in California traffic. This, you just charge it up and fly straight to the house. It's got LiDAR too. That means it shoots out laser pulses, maps everything around you, and helps avoid obstacles in real time. Even comes with a parachute for backup. Hopefully you don't need it though. Straight from the fish tank.
That's very interesting. You guys think that's the future of transportation? I mean, it's true that we haven't seen an evolution in transportation, whether it be planes, cars in the last 50, 70, maybe almost 100 years. So it would make sense that we would have, a different type. But to be 100% honest, people have a hard time driving cars. I know that they're talking about using AI to drive, but I have a hard time seeing air travel being opened up for everyone, especially when all the airspace is controlled all around the world and there's laws not to drive drones and this and that. So I feel like it's given, maybe in 10, 20 years, it could be, but I feel like at the beginning, at least, it's going to be so limited that you're not going to be able to do anything with it. But let me know what you guys think. Do you guys think that this is the future of transportation or just a cool gadget? Let me know down below, and let's keep on rocking.
Not only are they real, they actually turn into superheroes during the winter. Let me explain. Meet the reindeer. You can only find these guys in the North Arctic region surrounding the North Pole, which I shouldn't have to tell you that. And during the summertime, when it's not as cold in those areas, they look like this. Just a regular deer. However, as soon as winter hits, their body transforms like a Super Saiyan. First off, their blood produces a chemical that acts like a natural antifreeze, keeping them warm. Their fur turns white, which helps them blend into the snow, not get spotted by predators. Their hooves go from rounded to rigid for better traction. But the craziest part is their eyes change from brown to a super deep purple. And in that stage, they are 1,000 times more sensitive to light, basically giving them supervision, which is cool and all, but 1,000 times? That's not even necessary. What are you trying to see? My thoughts? Moral of the story, if you ever catch Rudolph here in the winter, he will quite literally be built different. And as always, follow for more facts.
This is going to be crazy. This is the Jetson Air Games, the world's first flying car race. They're called Jetson 1s. They're fully electric vertical takeoff aircrafts. Sort of like a drone meets Formula 1, except if you crash, you don't spin out, you drop out of the sky. Luckily, they don't fly too high. They just held the first demo race where 4 aircraft were flying side by side, weaving through the air like pod races. And it went super viral online. Many are saying this is how motorsport evolves. We started with horses, then cars, now flying machines. And before you say this will never take off, Jetson already has $75 million in orders. It's putting together a fully competitive aerial racing league right now. So forget racetracks. They're thinking 3D race circuits with vertical overtaking, possible mid-air pit stops would be cool, although unlikely. But with highlights reels that look like Star Wars, it's almost guaranteed to go viral over and over again and become a huge sport. The only question is, who's insane enough to be the first pro athlete in a sport where a minor crash means you might see Jesus? You'd have to have the confidence of a crackhead to even consider it. Would you do it?
Do you think it was wrong to do this? This specimen is an extinct type of dog called a turnspit dog. One of them is visible in this picture, in that wheel at the top. See, back in the olden days, if you wanted to rotate meat over fire to cook it evenly, well, they didn't have electricity. So they had this wheel, and they bred a type of dog to run in it. That is the turnspit dog. Due to its genes, it just loves running in this wheel all day. Is it morally wrong to breed a creature to do this? Again, this is a task that is hot and repetitive and strenuous, but due to our selective breeding, it presumably enjoyed doing it. In the same way that beavers love to build dams. If you bring one into your house, it will build a dam in your hallway. That's its favorite thing. If you have a pet dog that is a herding breed, if you ever take it out and let it see a herd of sheep, it will act like it is Christmas. It will run out there and start herding them. Breeding the animal to do the task means it enjoys doing the task. So if you say it seems like a win-win, we need the wheel turned, this animal loves turning the wheel. But remember, humans have genes that make us enjoy doing certain things too. And knowing that at some point in the future we will have the ability to edit the genes of our offspring, how long is it going to be until somebody has the bright idea, well, you know, there's certain jobs that nobody wants to do anymore. But rather than let a robot take that job away from a person, why not just give somebody the gene that makes them love that kind of work? Because their argument is going to be, who loses in that scenario? I've made a person who just loves washing cars so much that they don't even really want to be paid very much to do it, because they enter such a blissful meditative state that they would pay to do it. And what would they buy with their money? They already get to do the one thing they enjoy. And I kind of find that terrifying, but honestly, I can't articulate why. Because hey, it's win-win.
Racist.
It's a very interesting mental experiment to do. I mean, first off, for the dog, I always find it super interesting how we're so unaware of all the things that used to be normal occurrence in the past. And I find that sort of disconnects us to not repeat the same mistakes and to not know where we come from. That's first off. But second of all, I've never heard the idea of breeding or putting in a certain gene into a human for him to like his job and to sort of have that be his identity, and that the person basically is built for that job. Like he said, it's hard to articulate why it's wrong, because the person is literally happy. And, you know, we call our whole American dream experiment, we call it the pursuit of happiness. So if you were able to provide that systematically, it's very interesting. So let me know what you guys think. Do you guys think it would make sense to breed the genes into people for them to like their job? Or do you guys think it's better off that the robots take it? Or what do you guys think about this? Let me know down below, and let's keep on rocking.
We're going to address this again, since the inferior people are struggling. Black Americans are the only indigenous people on this land. Melanated people are the only people around the world who are indigenous on every land, no matter their ethnic group. Uncivilized lands all have the same genetic connection. Melanated skin with varying shades of brown. And those groups are not connected to Africa, just like Black Americans aren't connected to Africans ethnically. The actual American Indian, known as the Black Americans, are the ethnic group of North America, not descendants of Africans. Let's dismantle the greatest public relations fraud ever committed, the desperate multiracial campaign to erase the true indigenous Black American from this land. There is a coordinated effort, a relentless lie, designed to make Black Americans believe they are a guest in someone else's house. But the unchangeable archaeological and historical truth is that Black Americans are the foundation. They were here first. And by here, I mean the world. Every country. Every strip of land. And they built the civilization that we are all destroying. The lie about Africa is to confuse and mislead so that the theft can keep going on. Black Americans weren't even considered African American until 1988 by Jesse Jackson, a known Cherokee Indian. So they'll pay a Black American leader to lie and sell out, while classifying himself correctly despite the lie. If Black Americans came from Africa by boat in the 1600s, America didn't figure this out until 1988? And this isn't just a white lie. This is a lie woven by $5 pretendians, by secret treaties between immigrant groups, by decades of policy and propaganda all aimed at one single goal, convincing the world that the original people of the soil simply do not exist. They have every story in the world about the false history. And then you ask for ship manifest and evidence of ships, and then suddenly they can't produce them. But they could show you evidence of the Titanic hundreds of feet under the ocean. They won't even show you the entirety of the Titanic under the water. Only a corner of this ship. They still parse that history. They have reclassified the true indigenous people, renamed you, and redrawn maps around you, hoping you would forget the land your spirit is made from. Now they deploy their little native influencers online, armed with fraudulent petitions and digital picket signs, begging platforms to remove you from your own story. They are performing a pathetic pantomime of indigeneity. If you are indigenous, why would you need outside help? What are they protecting? If you're truly indigenous Native Americans, how could someone take that from you? Why the sudden panic? Every post they make, every petition they circulate is an admission. You've been caught, and now history will be made. Every other race are the visitors. It is time, Black Americans. Time for you to start acting like the host in your home, because all of this is yours. It is time you start acting like the host.
Very interesting theory. I had already heard stuff about the fact that there's a lot of inconsistencies regarding bringing the slaves over from Africa and the boats and all that. But me personally, I've always grew up listening to rap music. So my what I remember is first, like, let's say Tupac was based on Tupac Amaru Shakur, Amaruka, which would be the base of America, which would be coming from an indigenous population. I don't know exactly. He never really spoke about it, but that's where the name comes from what I understand. And the other person that actually, there's two more that hinted to that. One was ODB way back in the days. He was a Blackfoot Indian, if I'm not mistaken, and he was explaining how his heritage was Blackfoot and was not African. And there's also someone else that's very surprising, Waka Flocka Flame. Everyone thought that he was just like, oh, some ignorant rapper, this or that. But if you look at his interviews and you look at how he speaks and what he speaks about, actually very interesting. He was saying something like that as well, that his family, when he retraced his history of the family, it wasn't through slavery, that it was through indigenous peoples of the land here, which Columbus called the copper-colored people when they came here. So anyways, I'm not saying what's true or not. I'm just telling you some things that I saw, connecting a few dots. But I'd like to know what you guys think. Do you guys think that what they told us is absolute fact, that everyone that's melanated in America comes from Africa? Or do you think it's possible that there was a population here that was melanated and they have attributed it to the African import of slaves? Let me know down below. I'm up for the conversation. And hopefully this doesn't offend anyone. The goal of this channel is to be able to talk about absolutely anything. So I'm very sorry if you feel offended. I just feel like there shouldn't be any subject that's taboo. We should be able to come together and to, build ideas together, no matter the subject. So once again, sorry if this offends you, but please leave your comments down below and let me know how you feel. Now let's keep on rocking.
This man has spent the last 2 years building an entire town for his pets, and it will blow your mind. It all started with an apartment for his Shiba Inu and cats, but when people saw the excruciating level of detail that Jing put into it, it went viral. I mean, it is so realistic that it makes it look like the cat is the thing that's fake. Bro, he even created an underground den for his hamster, and then inside that, another even smaller room for his spider. What the hell? And so naturally, people wanted more. So, Jing started building more, like an elevator, a mini robo-vacuum, a gaming room complete with a sneaker collection, figurines, and model cars. And yes, this apartment even has running water. He then spent the next 2 months building an underground parking garage for his pets and even added cameras and put Shiba-san as the head of security. But you know what his pets really needed after that? A seaside retreat to get away from the city. So bro built them an entire private island. Not that kind of island. This took him over a month to build, and it comes with real flowing water, a painted horizon, and is themed on how to train your dragon. And thinking a private island was probably a good place to stop, he then finds out that Ting Hao was pregnant with 7 kittens. And so he suddenly realized this apartment wasn't big enough for a growing family. So naturally, he started building an entire town. Over the months, he built his pets a spa, a supermarket, yes, with real meat, a bank, a cinema, which took him another 2 months to build because he had to 3D print over 1,000 separate parts. He built them a billiards club, a Meow Donald's, and even copped his hamster a cyber quad and his cats a cyber truck. But by far, the biggest addition to Cat Town was the working subway station. This took Xing over 4 months to build. And some of the most challenging parts was figuring out how to open the train doors and platform doors simultaneously, and also how to create a working escalator. But of course, he achieved both of them beautifully. And today, Cat Town has affordable transportation. Now, the biggest question he gets asked all the time is why? Why spend all this time and money on your pets like this? Well, he said that it started just as a fun little idea to attract more customers to his wife's pet store, which she recently opened. But then it just spiraled out of control because he loves what he does and it makes his son happy.
Wow, that is amazing. I know it's something super trivial, but I find it's always inspiring to see someone go to the max outcome of their idea, to see someone just put so much dedication and so much effort into a project, even if it's like this random thing. I feel like that's how we came to have the most amazing architecture in the past, is that people would make a project their own and put their life into it and would love what they do, So props to this man for doing that much work, but that doesn't even seem like work because he loves what he's doing. It's truly inspiring and beautiful, and I wish more people would be like that. Let me know what you guys think down below. Would you like one of these cities for your cats? And let's keep on rocking.
People have never known how to poop, and history proves it.
White explorer actually wrote about this in 1818. Now, in 1818, explorer Thomas Bowditch goes to the Asante Kingdom. Now, the Asante Kingdom was located in what we now know as Ghana. He gets to the Asante Kingdom, sees flushable toilets, 2-story homes with flushable toilets on the 2nd story, half baths, and a waste and sanitation system that literally blew his mind. He wrote like 2-3 pages on this. That's how surprised he was. Not by the fact that it was Africans doing this. That was part of it, but the fact that it even existed in the first place. Now, it wasn't until like the 1850s and 60s when Europeans started using flushable toilets regularly and started having a regular waste and sanitation system. And now this book is a little weird too, and I might talk about this in another video, but this book was actually written under the guise of being an informational book about the Asante Kingdom, but it was actually a playbook on how to colonize the Asante Kingdom. But let's get started and learn something. While he was pretending to be nice with the Asante Kingdom to get all of this information to be able to take over the Asante Kingdom, he also collected all of these items. He has the largest and oldest collection of Asante items from that time. Look at this. Look at all this stuff. Look at them sandals from 1817. He was so perplexed about this whole waste management system that he even drew pictures in detail and painted them. I'll show some of the pictures while I read this mess that he wrote. What surprised me most, and is not the least of the many circumstances deciding their great superiority over the generality of Negroes, was the discovery that every house had its cloaca, toilet, besides the common ones for the lower orders without the town, the public restrooms. They were generally situated under a small archway in the most retired angle of the building, the guest bathroom, but not unfrequently upstairs, the upstairs bathroom, within a separate room like a small closet, where the large hollow pillar also assists to support the upper story, the 2-story house. The holes were of a small circumference, the pipes, but dug to a surprising depth, and boiling water is daily poured down, which effectually prevents the least offense. The rubbish and offal of each house was burnt every morning, waste management, at the back of the street, and they were as nice and cleanly in their dwellings as in their person. Thomas Bowditch's book provided one of the earliest, if not the earliest, account of how African people were living before European colonization for centuries. Now, you want to know what happened to him? Less than 5 years after he lied to the Asante people, lied to the Asante king, pretended that they were going to do trade, he passed that information on to his superiors, who used that information to take over the Asante kingdom. He thought that he provided that information that would give him leverage for better pay and a better position. They said no. He decided that he was going to move to Africa and get his fortunes and terrorize the African people. That same year that he decided to move to Africa, he died from a fever, leaving his wife and children destitute. Hope you learned something new.
Wow, that is amazing. 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 That is am Ah, wow, that is very interesting to see the advancements of the African civilization before the Europeans actually. And this whole story about the bathrooms is something that I've been ruminating for quite a while because sometimes you look at the constructions that they've built. Like, for an example, the castle of Versailles, which was built in France, I think in the 1600s, but it might be before. I don't remember. But the point that I'm making is that I think there's like 400 rooms in the house. They diverted the flow of water from a river nearby. They have all of these working fountains outside. Everything is amazing and beautiful and functional. And there's not one bathroom inside the house, not even an outhouse. So it's kind of weird to imagine, uh, you know, a civilization that's capable of building castles of that magnitude, and just like, forget the castle, just the outside, just the landscaping, just the fountains, like a civilization able to do that, but then they bathe in their own poo and they all get sick. I don't know. It feels in my mind like there's something missing. There's a missing link. There's a missing key. There's something that we're not seeing. If you guys know what it is, let me know. If you guys know about the history of poo, let me know. And somehow we're still affected today, right? When there was the CV-19, the first thing that flew off the shelf, it's all about the toilet situation, right? So it's very interesting how it's like something that's ingrained into us. It's very important, but we don't know the history of. We don't know where it comes from. And like I said, if anyone can explain me the Chateau of Versailles or other types of constructions like that that are huge, almost megalithic in their size, but somehow don't account for any waste at all. So let me know down below, and let's keep on rocking.
Jauh-jauh masih bahkan hasilnya. Oh. It's okay. We did it. We found it. We found it, my friend.
Iwan, makasih Pak Iwan. Allahu Akbar, Allahu
We made it.
Akbar, ya Allah.
We made it.
Kasian ya, penghargaan udah dapat. Gara-gara dia main harimau itu kan,
Iya.
bapaknya dulu yang main.
Bapaknya bunuh diri tuh.
Awak kenal karena.
Tell me how you feel that we found this plant.
But this is very amazing. This is complete for me for the habitat model aplysia for the Sumatra.
And you've been looking for 13
Hazelby.
years. For 13
Yeah,
years.
13 years old.
And here it is.
Chris, are you very lucky, Chris?
I'm very lucky.
Ah.
I'm the luckiest guy alive.
Very interesting. Very beautiful plant. I'd never seen anything like it. It actually looks like a cartoon. It looks like something you'd see in Mario or something. It's very beautiful. But there's something so natural and so wholesome about seeing this connection with nature. And nowadays we get this dopamine rush when we receive a message or when we get a little ting on our phone, right? But imagine that, like the level of that dopamine hit when you give yourself to something for like 10, 12, 13 years, and then you finally reach the completion of your project. It's so wholesome, so natural. I find it so beautiful. Sort of like planting seeds and all the work that you have to do until it's time to get the fruit. You understand what I mean? Like that time that's involved. Nowadays, we like to have it in an instant. I just find there's something so beautiful and so natural into a long process with a bigger payoff and a bigger reward. I don't know if you guys have noticed this in our current society, this addiction to dopamine, this need for reinforcement and to be seen and to be heard. And I don't know if you guys can see it. Let me know what you guys think down below, and let's keep on rocking.
I've become obsessed with etymology, and I've been studying words like crazy.
I've been warning
What
y'all.
I understand from the English language is that our words come from German, Greek, French, and English. It's just not one language. That's why when we divide the word up Balenciaga and only had an A, we see that now it went from an English word to a now Latin word that says ball is king.
We all know this one, but watch. Wait.
And the even more crazy thing about this situation is that Balenciaga is not the only company that is speaking in this coded Latin language. Look at Nickelodeon. I don't care about God. And look at Gucci. You just put a space between the two C's and it says there is an owl. And we already know the esoteric meaning of owls. And if you don't know the esoteric meaning, look up Moloch. He was the god of child sacrifice. And it made me look at Adidas, and you put a space between the A and the I and the D, you get, you give from God. Is that an accident? Amazon made $1.47 trillion last year. And if you type them in Amazon and you put a space between A and Z, you get Love Zon. Well, who is Zon? So let's look up Zon. Zon, a god. Zon Cathan. He is the Midnight Lord, the Dark Prince. At the bottom it says, possesses one of the most twisted and evil minds in the multiverse. His position as God of Pain is well earned. He has been the root of countless tortures, murders, and worse throughout time. Now, Manulife, this one really threw me for a loop. They are a wealth management company and they're worth $40 billion. Let's see what their Latin name it means. If you put a space between the N and the U, it says, a man is a wolf. Now, that's a saying, that's a phrase, right? So let's go look up and see what that means. A man is a wolf. Homo homini lupus. What does that mean? So this one was crazy. It's a Latin proverb. It means a situation where people are known to behave in a way that's comparably to in the nature of a wolf. The wolf as a creature is thought in an example to have qualities of being predatory, cruel, and inhumane. This next one is interesting because I actually learned this one in high school. Visa means you want or you've seen what you want. It's all mind manipulation. And evidently, these big corporations know that they are playing mind games with you to get you to purchase from them. But what does Mercedes have to do with you will give up? You give up what? What are you giving up? Your life, your soul, your money in order to purchase a car from them? And then some of the corporation names are named after like things in astrology. Like this one says, not a star for Nestle. And these big name Asian companies have figured out a way to say 3 different meanings in one name. Look at Mitsubishi. And these companies are not dumb. Like, they're not idiots. They have acquired billions, hundreds of billions of dollars.
Why you guys think they're in control?
Think that they know exactly
it's the
what
mind.
Their name means?
They're coming for our minds.
I went through all 200 billion-dollar companies on the Forbes list, and I have found numerous examples where they name their business one name, and in Latin it means something completely different. People, this is a spiritual warfare.
Yes.
Well, one of my favorite verses in one of my recent songs is, the etymology will tell you more than all your recent technologies. And yeah, I think that looking at the meaning of the words does mean something. All of these companies as well, if you look at the logos and the symbolism behind the logos, you could actually see a lot of recurring themes, as if there was a pattern to success, as if there was a way to speak to the subconscious of the consumer and to have him, I don't know, put this brand in a higher credibility state or to attract the person or to pass these messages. It's very interesting. I'm not saying that these companies do it willingly or not. I'm not making any claims or anything. This is for entertainment purposes only. But do you guys see that? Do you guys see that spelling, the words, the etymology? It's as if it's double speak, as if they're saying one thing, but it means another thing. I don't know if you've ever heard of double speak. I'll put some more of that in the next couple of videos. Anyways, let me know what you think down below. And I think we reached the end. Thank you so much for being here with me. And once again, thank you so much for the 5K subscribers. We're just getting started. We will not kick our feet up. This is just the beginning. But thank you so much for being here since the start. And we're about to hit the roof because the sky's the limit. Let's get her done. And that's a wrap for today, familia. Whether you're tuning in with the sunrise or you're posted up after midnight, I appreciate your time, your energy, your curiosity. And don't forget, this isn't about truth or fiction. This is about perspective. If this sparked a thought, a laugh, a deeper question, then we did our job. So drop your thoughts in the comments. Keep the convo alive. Like, subscribe. Don't forget to hit that bell if you're riding a wave because we're just getting started. Until next time, stay grounded, stay weird, stay critical. I'm Adam Strain, and this has been Adam Strain Reacts. Peace! I don't know what y'all think, but now's the time for us to link up. Really think we on the brink of making a change from living this strange.